The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Friday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 8:30 a.m. Friday morning, 60 minutes to go until the opening bell. And folks, I'm going to get the recording going because we're at higher prices. We've been that way since the fall off we had on Monday. Quite the acceleration. We'll start it off with the S&Ps, up about 7 points right now, and we're about to get non-farm payrolls as we speak, waiting for that number to hit the tape right now. The market's pulling back a bit. S&Ps were up about 12 points coming into the open. Coming into the 8:30 jobs number. You're seeing a little bit of volatility on the number right now. And here we go. So the market loses the economy loses 140,000 jobs in December. Market was looking for 50,000 jobs added to be expected. ADP private payrolls also saw a decrease for the month of December. So not exactly shocking in that regard, but nonetheless, we see a decrease of 140,000 jobs in December versus the market looking for a gain. So we'll see the S&Ps trying to digest that information. We make it to a high of 38.17 overnight. We're currently trading at 38.03, up 8 points. Nasdaq Futures, Nasdaq 100 just peaks above 13,000. We've given it up a bit, 12,983. You get the Dow up 43 points, 30,985. How about 31,148 on the futures overnight? And the Russell hanging on to about 6 points of gains at 2101. Commodities, crude catching quite a bit, 51.67 right now. We were just at $47 as of Monday. Natural gas, $2.64. Gold, talk about some volatility for gold. We go from 1962. Look at this flash at about 3 a.m. Eastern time. Gold trades from 1910 down to 1875. We were just at 1880. You're seeing the volatility reverberate across many markets right now. You got silver off 58 cents. Silver had the same drop right there. You're looking at 2609, the low on silver overnight. Notes and bonds. Guess what we're doing, folks? We're going to lower price and higher yield. I know, remarkable. You would never imagine that, but we are. Obviously. Right now, the 10-year, folks, 1.1%. My goodness, right? How things change. And boy, you want to talk about a story. How about 42,500? Where's our man Basil Chapman for round numbers? That sounds pretty round to me. 42,500. I mean, next stop 50,000, right? What are we talking about here? Bitcoin. You want to see something staggering, folks. This is a monthly chart on Bitcoin. We go back to December of 2017. Okay, so you're talking about 3 years, basically. 3 years and a month to be exact. 2017. Bitcoin futures start trading on the CME. What I want to point out is we're all kind of familiar with how high this high once seemed on this chart, right? Remember when we were down to lows of like 4,000, you were hovering around 10,000, you made it back to a high of 13,915 in June of 2019. But this 20,650, that was always kind of hanging out there as this mythical high that had been made the moment that you were allowed to short Bitcoin in a regulated environment. I mean, imagine, right? At that time, it was all just kind of unregulated exchanges. The CME comes out with futures. You actually have the ability to short Bitcoin in a regulated environment. Bitcoin tanks from 20,000 to 3,000. Point being, this doesn't even show up on the chart anymore. It's so astronomical. We've just gone from 10,000 to 40,000 since October. Watch out, folks. Things getting a little frothy in that market. And speaking of frothy, the world's newest, richest man, Elon Musk. You want to talk about some volatility. Now, again, this is a monthly going back as far as we can. $3 the low, split adjusted. $3 the low. When is that low? Let's put it. That is July of 2010. And really remarkable, when you back it up, I mean, split adjusted, we're talking about $35 in June of 19. Crazy run up. And Tesla, folks, my goodness. Have you seen the overnight action? How about going from 816? We're going to open almost $40 higher. I said to friends earlier today, we were talking about Tesla, and it's remarkable that the richest man in the world, probably rightfully so, or woman in the world, would always, or it's always been a man at this point, but has kind of changed the world. And you would imagine that if you're going to be the wealthiest person in the world, first you had Bill Gates, computers taking over, Windows still running everything. Then you had Bezos, Amazon, kind of redefining the online e-commerce marketplace would make sense. And now you have Elon Musk redefining electric vehicles. The only thing is Tesla isn't quite there for changing the world yet, as I put Microsoft and Amazon in my mind of how they've kind of just reverberated everything. Tesla, Elon Musk, all the credit in the world. He came into this sector when car companies like Ford, GM, name one, folks, Toyota, were resisting the change. He accelerated all of that. He changed the world. It's just remarkable, though, what I was going to say is that he's got 180 million shares of Tesla. Just on this chart, which goes back to last Friday, Elon is pushing about $30 billion of wealth creation. It's a remarkable run, folks. We'll see where it ends, but you're going to have Tesla open about $35 higher this morning at $8.52. Next stop, 1,000, maybe. Not sure where we go from there. Remarkable action we're talking about on Tesla shares. All right, getting back into that jobs number in terms of where we are, pulling over some more analysis of the jobs number at 8:30. So, job loss in December, first time since April that we see job losses versus job gains. You were losing millions of jobs in March and April. Things have been slowly reverberating, but folks, it's not a coincidence here, okay? You pull up yesterday, a record number of deaths, 4,085 people just yesterday alone, unfortunately passing away from COVID-19. New cases, you're talking about 275,000. Quite a number. In terms of vaccinations, you're talking about 6.25 million right now. U.S. doses. Folks, if you have the opportunity, and you're not one of those people in one of those demographics that you risk, whether it's allergic shock or you're just too high risk to take that shot for a few reasons, I encourage you to get the shot so we can get over this. The most common reason in my own personal life of people you come around is I'm just going to wait and see how things go. Completely understandable and reasonable. I try not to judge anybody about their personal feelings of everything going on right now and your comfort level of where you are and what you're comfortable with and who you're around and their comfort level and their high-risk nature and how you need to behave and live. What I just bring up, because facts and information is important, is that because I hear it in my own personal life, I'm just going to wait for a little while to see how the shot goes. Completely reasonable. What I would say is that we're now over 6 million doses just in the U.S. And where does reasonable become reasonable? And everybody has their number, but that's a number to think about because we're going to approach 10 million. We're going to approach 20 million people receiving this shot. Drastic numbers, and all indications seem to be that it's completely healthy, folks, completely the efficacy, about 95%. And you're talking about that, is this the article? No, that's Moderna talking about, but I got an article somewhere up here talking about that the vaccine is effective against the new variants. So we're talking about 6 million people, folks. Millions and millions of people already receiving this shot. Look for that information, and hopefully that can encourage people who are on the fence, which is completely understandable. I wish we didn't have to put any type of medicine in our body, period. So I get all of that. But we're at 6 million, we're at 10 million, and we got to get to like 180 to 200 million folks to get over this at least, if not even 250 to 300 million. All right, we get the S&Ps up 12, digesting that jobs number. We'll get into what that means for the unemployment number and so forth. We'll be right back.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. Are you looking to buy or sell gold, silver, platinum, coins, or bullion? We can help. At Tiger Precious Metals and Stones, we specialize in the buying and selling of gold, silver, as well as collectible U.S. and foreign coins. We not only buy your unwanted or broken jewelry, but you can trade that in for gold and silver coins, too. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245 for a quote over the phone and to lock in the current market price. Call us now at 727-329-8245.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We're actually seeing the S&Ps and markets above where we were at 8:30 on that number. You got the S&Ps up about 14 points right now. You see the little volatility. I'll zoom it in on a 15-minute bar. Let's even get it on a 5-minute bar. And you can see right out of the gate at 8:30, we trade down to 38.02, and now we've bounced back to kind of the highs that we had at about 7 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. as well. Market shaking it off. You could almost make the argument that the fear was that it would be worse. I know the expectation there was said that it was a gain of 50, but when you have the ADP private payrolls, ADP's got 26 million people on private payrolls, folks, a huge representation of the workforce. They saw a decline. You see a decline in these numbers. Not all shocking. It probably could have been worse than a decline that we got. The number we did get, 140,000. The unemployment rate, as in a decrease of 140,000. Unemployment rate, 6.7% compared to they were looking for 6.8. Let's see. Talk about, here we go. This is what I want to go over. It was all about hospitality and restaurants, folks. Not too surprising. And let me jump over to the Bloomberg one as I have it in here. Where are we? Come on. Oh, shame on me. All right, I'll find it. Nonetheless, I was going to talk about that you saw 498,000 in that industry for restaurants and bars. Let me get this right here. Yeah, biggest hit came in the hospitality industry, where hotels, restaurants, and bars suffered under the yoke of restrictions, limited travel, COVID cases spiking. So that industry lost almost 500,000 jobs. Restaurants and bars alone, folks, 372,000. Overall, hospitality is down almost 4 million jobs since January, 23.2%. Hospitality is just not coming back until we get over this, folks. It's not happening. That's the reason for stimulus. We get the vaccine being rolled out. We cannot let these companies and businesses like restaurants and hospitality shut down when the economy is going to be opening back up in 6 or 9 months. We got to get these people, these 4 million people over that hump or mark number in that industry. Private education also saw a drop, 63,000, while government jobs contracted again, loss of 45,000. Professional and business services saw a growth of 161,000. Retail We're talking about December here, okay? Retail added 121,000 during the holiday shopping season. Construction, 51,000. Stark numbers, folks, but all but expected. And you're actually seeing the S&Ps trade higher. What's new? S&P trades higher. We miss on the jobs number coming in. Maybe that'll add a little bit of fuel to the stimulus that we possibly get coming down the line in the next month. Maybe it's $2,000 checks. We'll find out, I'm sure, as things take shape in the next presidential administration, January 20th. All right, let's go over some of the equities that we got moving this morning. And we got a few. They kick it off with Tesla. We already covered it. Elon, the world's richest person. And guess what? He's going to make like $6-8 billion today on the open with his 180 million shares. The stock up about $40. Earnings season already in swing. We got a big one today, Micron. They were out with their numbers after the bell last night. 78 cents a share, 7 cents above estimates. Revenue topping as well. Micron gave upbeat current quarter guidance, saying that the market for dynamic random access memory chips, DRAM, appears to have bottomed and is on the rebound. Micron, all encouraging news there. They are trading higher, as you may expect, from about $79. We're up $3 to $82.37 on their numbers last night. We kick it off with some banks. Next week really kicks off the real season of a lot of companies. Banks kick it off starting next week for earnings. Boeing. This one is an interesting one. I'll use that word. Interesting can mean a lot of things, folks. So Boeing, they're going to pay $2.5 billion to settle criminal conspiracy charges over the 737 MAX. 346 people dying in 2018 and 2019. Boeing admitting that 2 of its 737 MAX flight technical pilots deceived the FAA about capabilities of flight control systems on planes, software that was later implicated in the 2 crashes. To put this all on the technical pilots, folks, and think that, you know, none of the executives. So here's the company admitted to the wrongdoing and waived its right to a trial as part of the deal with the DOJ to settle the charges. The agreement also did not implicate top executives, saying the misconduct wasn't pervasive, nor were senior managers involved. Just unfortunate, folks. You make up your own opinion, okay? But when you run a company like that, this plane is the future of this company. And if you don't think executives were involved in rushing through the approval process with regulators, then we disagree. And we'll just leave it at that. You know, it's just remarkable how this continues to happen. No matter what happens, executives get off. We got hundreds of people dying because they rushed through a plane. Boeing looking to come out of that mess nonetheless. And Boeing shares, as you see, up a bit today to 213. You put this thing on a daily, and we're talking about, and this is interesting, folks. Look at this. I have this Fibonacci. We run from October 1st, you get the vaccine news, right? You go from 140 to basically 240. Where do we pull back? Create 2 retracement, down to about 205. This may be the acceleration higher. Off of that, I mean, an A to B, C to D, you're talking about 100-point A to B, C to D. If this is our C point of about 204, you're talking about the next stop would be 304. We'll see as Boeing looks to move forward past at least that scandal and come out of the COVID pullback as well. Sarepta Therapeutics said its gene therapy treatment for muscular dystrophy did not meet one of its main goals in the study. As you know, folks, these biotechs, my goodness, right? You're going to see a drop off here. The bid ask is 84 right now in this equity, folks. Kaboom. All right. The world changes overnight when you find out one of your drugs for muscular dystrophy, unfortunately, not working in the trials, and we see the stock cut in half. You want to talk about defined risk, folks? Here's an argument to be made for defined risk. Because, my goodness, if you're buying this equity on margin, you owe money this morning. I mean, you barely owe it at 85. You owe it at 75. So that's a dicey scenario when your whole position is wiped out and you actually owe money on margin on this equity. Watch to see what happens on the open for Sarepta on a big one. Pfizer developed, so the COVID-19 vaccine with Pfizer and BioNTech appears to be effective against new variants of the virus, according to a study conducted by the drug maker. Not yet peer reviewed, but they're trying to accelerate this, make sure of it. All indications are that this vaccine, at least with the variants we have and we know of so far, vaccine looks to be effective. Good news there. Let's see, getting us, what else we got? Yeah, we got D.R. Horton. They're upgraded to an outperform. Let's see what I got. Yeah. I wanted to jump around. Okay, I'll pull it up in a second. Let's go to this article here. Tom sent me this article last night. We're all in the market, folks. We know how wild things have been. I mean, the VIX right now is sitting at 22, pulled back from 29. What it talks about here is just the moves. We all know them, right? You got Tesla, world's richest man, Elon Musk. We got Bitcoin at 42,500. The option statistics, just for yesterday, I wanted to pull up real briefly. In the options market, a favorite of speculators, more than 46 million contracts traded Wednesday. 6th most active day in history. All other, the top 5, were all last year. It's a big-time options market. If you haven't checked out Fastest Market with TD Ameritrade, check it out at 11. We'll be right back to finish up the program.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that will take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We have the S&P is positive by 10 right now. A little bit of volatility on that jobs number, declined 140,000, coming out at 830. 8:30 a.m. this morning for non-farm payrolls for the month of December. A lot of those jobs in hospitality and leisure, a majority of those jobs lost in the restaurant and service industry. We'll see how that shapes out on the morning. You see these 2 5-minute bars. We go up, we go down. We're sitting right where we were prior to that number at 38.06. The gold contract down $26 right now. You just saw gold go down right to that low of 1875. We hit a low at 8:30 of 1876.10, within $1 of where we were. Gold catching a little bit of a bounce up to 1887 right now. Jumping over to the VIX this morning, volatility index 2227, and we'll jump around to some of the FANG stocks. Amazon shares look to be up a bit, up about $20 to 31.82. Bezos got some work to do to catch up to Elon if the run continues. Let's check back in on Tesla, 852. Remarkable. You're almost $40 higher on Tesla shares. Apple shares this morning, 132, up a bit. How about some of the moves yesterday? Did you see Target 2 days ago, from 180 to almost 190? Look at this chart on Target. I was looking at this morning. Whew, talk about a run, folks. I mean, I don't have to draw a channel line here. An ode to our man Bud Rolfs. It's a rocket ship to the upside in Target, folks. I mean, you look at Target going back a year, right? And then you pull up Walmart, pretty identical. There's your channel lines, folks, to the upside in a big way. Walmart trading at 146, pretty much flat this morning as well. We'll check in on some of my favorites. Uber making all-time highs yesterday. We're going to back off those highs a bit this morning, though. There's some volatility for you. Back to 53.61. Disney shares this morning up a bit to 180. Let's check in on some of the cannabis stocks. They've been having quite a run this week. You got Canopy basically flat, opening at about 30 and 50 cents. We'll check in on Tilray. They've been a rocket ship, pairing some of those gains as well. All right, folks, stay tuned. We got our man Larry Pesavento. He's coming up live next with Trade What You See. Like any day in the market, folks, it's going to be an interesting morning. We got a lot for this market to digest. We got non-farm payrolls in there, a decrease, all in hospitality. Most encouraging thing, hopefully those jobs all come back once we open back up this economy. Stay tuned, folks. Larry's coming up next. We'll be back at 10. Live programming all day.